Hello Hoopers, and welcome to my first DreamSpin hoop tutorial for Facebook followers, students who come to DreamSpin classes, and for anyone who's hooping at home just starting out. I'll be doing beginners and intermediate levels of tutorials. This one is a beginner, basic starting and a small flow practice for us to work through together. First thing, we have our hoop. Wahey! Here begins the journey. We apply the hoop to the left or the hoop to the right. It's a personal preference. I'm a lefty hooper, but I try to hoop in both directions because we need to have balance, both in our lives and in our hooping. So, a good beginner position, one foot in front of the other, which helps bring our core into play. We're using our core around our belly button, our stomach, to push our hoop around. So I'm pushing forward, almost anticipating the hoop connecting with my core and pushing before, just slightly. The foot in front will help me remember to push forwards and not from side to side. When we feel comfortable with this move, we can bring our feet to the sides, move around, but for now, just one foot in front of the other, and just understand and feel that basic rhythm of the hoop. When you feel comfortable with this, we're going to take a walk in the same direction that the hoop is travelling. For me, this is the left. At first it might feel a bit stilted, you might look a bit like a chicken, but that's okay. We can smooth these things out. So as we take a step, we're pushing with our core. Take a step, pushing, take a step, pushing, take a step, pushing, and we're out. Yay! Now we're going to turn in the opposite direction, so we're walking against the flow of the hoop. So this time I'm going to go to the right. It's a little bit faster, so I'm going to push harder with my core. I'm going to take a step round, push, take a step, push, take a step, push. Brilliant, well done. So what's next? We're going to try turning in the same direction as my hoop and immediately turning against the flow of the hoop. It gives it a good spin, it's a nice massage. Let's see how that feels. So walking in the same direction and then against the hoop flow. Fantastic. A very important basic hoop skill and your groundwork is to understand the spaces around your body that the hoop creates. I do this and I teach this with my hands. We're bringing our hands into these spaces, exploring what the hoop is creating around us. This helps us to understand the rhythm of the hoop. Gives us the opportunity at a later date, if we want to take a shoulder out, our arms, duck out our head, or our legs. This is going to be the groundwork for doing all those moves. So dipping our hands into those spaces. Let's take a walk around the outside, around the hoop, dipping our hands in, even exploring the outside of your hoop, if your hoop is small enough to do that. We've got extra long arms. Well done. So we've done the dipping. We're starting to understand the hoop's rhythm. The next thing we're going to learn is how to transition our hoop off our body, from our body to an off-body move. This is going to help us develop a whole repertoire of other moves that come from hooping off the body. I'm hooping to the left. I'm going to teach a front lift off. So I'm using this incredible space between my thumb and index finger, perfectly made for lifting of a hoop. It's my hoop scoop. So I'm going to watch for the moment when my hoop touches my right side. Think of it as a now, a now, a now, and that's your opportunity to lift up your hoop. I'm going to imagine and I have a line straight through my center, and that's where my hoop is going to travel. So I'm going to lift with my scoop, straight up. Let's try that again. Left hand, right side if you're hooping to the left, and lift. If you're hooping to the right, I'm going to reverse it, so I'm going to use my right hand to my left side. Once again, waiting for that opportunity. Now, and lift. Okay, we have our lift off. So what do we do when we've got our hoop up here? We're going to do this move called the lasso. It's a great move. It's very strong. It's good for your arms. To get safely into that lasso when we're just starting out, we're just going to play with our hoop in front of our body. It's less dangerous for everybody around you. including yourself. No flying hoops, hopefully. So we're going to start off with our palm up. We're going to allow our hoop to roll onto our knuckles, opening and closing our palm around the hoop, keeping our hoop close and parallel to our body, keeping it smooth and steady. It might feel at first that you feel uncomfortable and you allow your hoop to drop onto your hands and you're not quite sure how to do it. But just allow the hoop to knock your knuckles. There will be bruises. Hooping does create bruises. There is pain, but it's worth it. Arnica is a very good thing to buy at this stage, and the bruises do stop, I assure you. So let's switch to the other hand, just so we're even and also to save bruising. And put my thumb next to my other thumb and let the hoop travel onto my other hand. That's my left hand. So switching, switching. Okay, we're going to transition this into the lasso move. If I was doing this from my waist, I would immediately lift up, allow the hoop to rotate around my finger, then into my hands, and then I'm into lasso. A nice way before you get to that place, the lift off, is if you hold your hoop at the end of your wrist, begin to turn, your hoop rises, and then immediately grab your hoop. Grab and roll, and then you know that you are in control, which is what we need. Okay, so we have our lasso. So we have lift off and lasso. And where I want to take you from this lasso is down to a weave. So using the palm of my hand, pushing against the hoop, I bring it away from my body and bring it down to my side. I'm now in a side spin. So I'm now on a vertical plane. My hoop is spinning backwards, which is not what I want right now. I want my hoop to be spinning forwards. So I'm going to take the palm of my left hand and use it to break the hoop and push it forwards. And now I have a forward spinning hoop. I'm going to stop my hoop at the top. With my thumb pointing outwards behind me, I'm going to use it to lead the hoop. So I'm bringing the hoop over to my left side and then back over my hand to the right side. Weaving, weaving. This move is known as the weave, the warrior, the figure of eight. I'm not sure of many of the names, I should imagine. So I'm going to take it over to my left side. I allow my left hand, which is not as well used, to experience what my right hand is doing. Take out my right, and then use my left. Let's put a little side spin in there, and we have the weave. Play with this, bring it low, take it high, switch hands, put in some spins. It's your hooping, so you can do what you like with this. So let's just run through this very quickly from the beginning. We have our hoop on our waist, hooping to the left, or hooping to the right. It's your preference. Hoop on our waist, we're walking around following the direction of the hoop. We're walking against the flow of the hoop. We're dipping in our hands, exploring those spaces. We're going to lift off our hoop into a lasso. We're in a lasso and we're bringing our hoop down to the side, using our palm to push the hoop against, away from our body. Using my palm, I'm going to break the hoop's direction and push it forwards. With my thumb leading, I'm going to take my hoop left and right, switching sides. And that is the end of my first tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and see you soon.